we should be going.
Welcome back to Oathbound Roads. Last session was an eventful one, so much so that we had to take a brief break, also due to some health things going on and some medical/dental things, but you know how it is.
I got teeth ripped out of my face.
The
So,
flesh always betrays.
speaking of betraying flesh, so, last time, this ragtag band of adventurers found themselves in a bit of a spot. Stranded out in the middle of the wilderness, learning suddenly that there was a band of werewolves attacking the nearby town of Hallowhall. They did the best they could to get there, ultimately accepting help from some hags that came with a few interesting side effects. But it's fine. Totally nothing to worry about. Some of them haven't even happened yet, so yeah, it may not even happen at all.
This is fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, you're still glowing. The stone skin is gone, though.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm back to normal.
I never was normal.
All right.
So.
Didn't you get, like, fucking,
I got my spell slots back.
your mind?
I didn't.
Yeah, people got spell slots back from them. There are just some unforeseen complications. So,
Yeah.
Don't think anything weird happened to Hildy that I remember.
Yet.
not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
If I fed it to the ravens, something weird was guaranteed to happen.
Oh, you'll find out in time. So, accepting the aid of the hags and a potential offering of help from them, they departed through their tree walking abilities right into the middle of the Hallowhall College, managing to find and track down the ensuing combat, where they were unfortunately forced to fatally dispatch Lucan, the leader of the Blood Hunters, who had been transfigured into his monstrous werewolf state. It was a bloody battle, with him giving as much as he got. A little more so in one case, considering one person walked out of it with one less limb. That was funny.
Whoops.
It's fine.
It went with the GIF on screen right now.
It actually kind of did.
Yeah, I got
So-
my arm fucking bitten off.
Yeah, you did. And it was cursed, too. Your arm was rotting, and you just did nothing about it for an entire fight afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyways, with Lucan dispatched from a rather cinematic kill shot by Garm, the werewolf paladin, the gang then bore witness to something even more messed up, as the blood of these werewolves pooled together and formed into a bizarre, sanguine being that called itself Shimeus, the apparent puppet master behind all of these happenings. A strange gestalt of many different souls and voices combined into one form that appeared interested in taking everything it could into itself. It toyed with them for a time, then got serious when it actually started getting hurt and realized that it was a little in over its non-existent head. But before it could deal any more damage, a swift combination of strikes from everyone, the final blow once again being from Garm, Shimeus was imprisoned within a magical cage by Headmaster Reuben, a former friend of its primary host, and possibly originator, but we don't know for sure. He was rather mum about that subject. Lots of things exposed and lots of bodies to bury. The gang went back to rest as much as they can, knowing that they had a lot of recovery ahead of them, and for some, quite a bit worse than that. Especially what happened to their other bard friend, Anaphora. Oh boy. So, all that said, It's been 5 days since the initial attack, and the aftermath has been rather clean and eventless. There's been a lot of gathering of bodies, a lot of data being gathered on exactly what happened, what transpired, and if there was anything else remaining in the area, and you all learned that the body count of the event was rather high. Student casualties, thankfully, were low. Not none. A few did manage to get caught and apprehended before they could get to safety. Those cat-like creatures that you all battled in the square the first time you all met were rather relentless and rather high in number. Among the faculty, not much to speak of in terms beyond a few cuts and scrapes. But the real casualties of the matter, the hunters were all lost to a one. None of them were saved. And strangely enough, all of their bodies had been completely exsanguinated. Not a single drop of blood to be found in any of them. And the Reichman, which had been set free to aid in doing battle against these things, they had all perished as well. Unable to keep up with the rather intense regenerative powers the Red Moon brought to the Blood Hunters. Among the kindred that you'd met, thankfully, the guild hall was surprisingly well defended and managed to fend them off pretty well. Turns out, when you got back to the guild hall, you saw Rousier was definitely cut up a little bit, but was wearing some surprisingly nice scaled armor and had a long glaive. Had actually done a pretty decent job of fending things off. I actually saw a few frozen limbs attached to doorposts that his breath apparently had caused.
Oh. Damn.
But as was said, Anaphora got hurt pretty badly. So, just a quick little rundown. Just for what everyone has been doing in the last 5 days. It does not have to be complicated or a play-by-play, just a primary thing for how this has all gone for you. Let's just start at the top of the voice chat with Vask.
Okay, he's been, besides, definitely wants to be there when Anaphora wakes up, but he's mainly been at the college doing some studying for a project he's been planning for a while. Now that he's actually, I think it's one of the reasons he came to the college in the first place, one of the, to use their library and stuff, but he's mainly been researching and practicing his new abilities that he's discovered with the gravity magic.
Indeed. Plenty of space for that. Largely keeping busy and doing things in your own time. Okay. The past 5 days haven't seen much in the way of any stirrings from Anaphora. She's been stable, but injuries were pretty severe. Though I'll let the player describe that at her discretion.
Yeah, and if anyone needs Vask's help, they know where he's at, so he wouldn't be unavailable if someone needed him or wanted to talk to him.
Alrighty. So, Garm, how about you? How have you been these last 5 days?
He's been pretty sullen once he learned that there was not a single survivor among the hunters. He most definitely contributed to giving them last rites, and Lusant in particular, he gave a proper Gortog burial.
Excellent. Yep. It wouldn't have been difficult to, you were surprised to see just how sympathetic, the very least, the headmaster was to the event of their deaths and the unfortunate nature of it. he was willing to contribute, and there is a large headstone out near the coastline where that's overlooking the sea and the forest that they can be properly respected at.
Yeah, though I suspect not everyone regards them as fondly.
There's definitely still some questioning about it. The official stance is talking about the Red Moon, and, well, Reuben didn't confide in this to everyone, but as best you can all tell when what he and the hags earlier told you, someone was working using magic to manipulate time itself. Heady stuff.
Hmm.
All right. Now what about Jeddah?
Well, her time has
Go ahead.
her time has mostly been spent in the root cellar, just going through what Nern's left behind and trying to adjust to
Mhm.
having a single arm.
Yeah, I was going to almost make a joke of I bet you've had your hands full, but
Mm,
I mean, now's the time, I guess.
Look, if you're not going to be making the jokes, other people will.
just, yep.
She has not.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so she's been just like doing things, just like, doing things around the root cellar to just try and adjust to, not having both of her hands working. Just as simple as like opening doors, trying to read books.
Yep.
Just look through what Nern's belongings were.
Yep. You learned Nern definitely kept things pretty bare. I've mentioned some previous things, paperweights made out of semi-precious metals, papers, quills, ink. You did manage to find some savings he had, so I'd say you managed to find about 240 gold stashed away
Jesus.
inside of his room.
Jesus. 240?
Yep.
Alright.
Not much in the way of actual correspondence or personal writings. Seems like he was in a bit of a dry spot at that exact moment in terms of like his changeling secret smuggling and trafficking business.
Okay. Oh. Alright. God. There's some things she'd like to do, like when she's had some time to herself, but those are things that I'd like to,
Of course.
yeah. Like, the main thing is asking Ruben some stuff and going down to the bow barrows.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And seeing Anaphora when she wakes up. But the adjusting to her arm has not gone amazing. Like, when she's, conscious and paying attention, she can, do things semi-normally, but she hasn't really gotten it down to, instinct.
Yeah, that takes a bit. I've read accounts from people who have lost limbs, and it's the first little while it surprises you how much you try to use the one that isn't there.
Yeah, and the she has not mentioned it to anyone, but the phantom pain hasn't been great.
Or not.
Yeah, especially with how she lost it.
Man, terrible. I can't believe Konami did that to you.
God damn it!
I'm still angry, Konami. Still angry.
Yeah, fuck you, Konami.
Okay. Okay, so how has Hildegard been these last 5 days?
So she has very rarely left Anaphora's room unless like I'm assuming they have like field medics or medicine women since they don't have any like magical healers around. Maybe the local alchemist shop by whatever. It doesn't like unless somebody tending to Anna requested her leave the room. She has not left.
Well, nobody really would have left, especially when they learned that you had clerical training. As has been mentioned, there at this exact moment aren't any real clerics in the valley, so
Yeah,
her
that's
training.
you're the closest thing they got.
her training
that
was
something that
more
Jetta asked about, but was quickly told was not around.
Yep.
her training's more on the level of slap magic on it rather than actually help.
Yep.
So,
There
uh,
are people who are trained in how to like dress wounds and the like, but you still would have been welcome to help in that regard.
The hags might be the best bet for magical healing, but that comes with caveats, apparently.
Well, to be fair,
It's the only
that
way
was
they
like
know how
a
to do
quick
it.
and dirty heal, essentially.
but yeah, she's not been in a very good emotional state. She's probably been crying more often than hasn't. She looks an utter mess. And
Oh boy, even more streaks on your face.
oh no, she looks like she fucking face planted into someone's fireplace.
Oh. So Vask would have definitely made note to bring food for Hildegard and Anafor and
I'd imagine everybody would be coming and going from that room for a while.
I mean, she's eaten. She's actually stepped out to get some food. It just was very rarely, or the birds have brought her something, or she snacked on whatever people left around. You know,
Snack on people, you say?
Oh my.
anyways,
I mean,
like,
do we carry
that
anything?
spider.
she's not been in a very, like I said, she's not been in a very good state. She I'm gonna say like she actually blew up at somebody, probably just somebody who came in to like adjust the dressing or the bed or something and bumped Anna wrong, and she just like flat out threatened to just rip their soul out, just something horrifying.
To which the birds would promptly have gone, oh!
Yeah, just some very disproportionate anger, which she probably like would try to apologize on next meeting, and it more than likely didn't go well.
Noted.
That like that's about it. That's been her 5 days.
Well, on a slightly different stroke, a lot of Vara's stuff is decided by the fact that you're still not technically entirely a graduate yet. You are done with classes, but some of your time has definitely been spent making sure everything's okay, and once things got to normal a little bit more so, some preparations for that being sent about. Also, some preparations for your graduation gifts that have been set aside for you to be received. But what have you done in the meantime?
In the meantime, how long did that clarity of mind last from the drinking the hag potion?
I'd say it have disappeared that morning.
That morning, okay. And she's gonna wake up and realize that all of the bombarding visions are back, and she's like, damn. And she's gonna try to gather her thoughts enough to write a very convincing letter to her parents telling them that she is going to go out into the world before she comes home.
Okay. Gutsy route to take. Alrighty. I'm sure you've probably written several drafts of that.
Yeah, they're all very bad. She started doodling on the first one, so...
Oh.
I did that many times. Alright. So, that's largely been the last few days. Let's start with... actually, that's perfect. So, 5th day into it, Jetta going through the root cellar. If anyone is there with you, that is fine too, but you can be by yourself too. It's fine. This isn't requiring.
She would definitely let anyone in there who wanted to. If anyone had really come to check on her, she'd even have offered spare room if anyone needed somewhere to bunk. But unless somebody wants to be there, she has not asked anyone to be there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, going once, twice. All right. So you are on your own. 5th day of going through it, you're starting to get to that feeling that there's probably not too much more to see. And unfortunately, no matter how hard you try to scrub it, that little red patch on the wall does not come out.
She eventually just like put something in front of it.
Yeah, totally fair. So as you're cleaning, you do hear the hatch opening up and someone entering in.
She, stops and tenses before taking a deep breath. Who's there?
Hey, it's a bad time. You hear the voice of Sam.
Oh, one moment. Throws on her cloak. She has been wearing a lot.
Yep.
And she comes out from the room. Said,
You come in, you actually see that he is not alone himself. Esther is with him as well. Funny enough, she
Oh.
still has not found her false arm. She left it behind in
damn.
the woods somewhere, so
Yeah. She hasn't really except for when we found her and we were trying to figure out what happened, she hasn't really looked at where the missing arm is, but this time I think Jeddah is visibly, her gaze looks towards Esther's missing arm.
Yep. Biggest difference is hers is about at the elbow, yours is closer to the shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not subtle. She's just, she has a different feeling with it now,
Yeah. Sam unmasks promptly upon the hatch being closed, back to his own face. Wow. Jeez. I briefly tangled with I must have gotten away just before you guys got there. The leader of the hunters, the werewolf guy, he did that?
Closes the hatch and he goes completely to his true face.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In that case, so does Jeddah, dropping the Furbolg form and just pulling the cloak away and showing, the stump.
Yep.
Yes, he did it with his teeth.
Jeez. Well, wish there was something we could do about that ourselves, but unfortunately, it's not technically why we came here, but are you doing okay?
Frowns.
Yeah, I
which
thought
is a
so.
very common expression on their face, but I've been going through Nern's old things. It's kept me busy, at least.
Ruben, Esther kind of speaks up. Ruben told us a little bit. Is it true that that thing used Nern's voice?
Fist clenches very tightly. Yes.
Ugh.
I don't know if it got to his body or if it was just fucking with me.
Ruben has not said a lot about that thing, whatever it is. He's been very feverishly locking himself away in the deeper parts of the college. I think he's trying to get some manner of an even more foolproof way of keeping that thing sealed.
You know where Ruben is, as of late, where I could find him?
Sam says, that's actually kind of what I came here for you about. Wanted to show you something that I've been working on for a little bit. Had a little help. It's a little walk, but I think you'll appreciate it. You could use a little fresh air.
I guess.
All right, come on. Sam just kind of opens up the hatch once more, masks himself. It's like just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you come back and I can help you if there's anything else you want to find.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Just you look kind of lonely, I guess.
Uh, I suppose I have been.
Well, come on. I think this might at least help a little. Not actually sure how.
It can't hurt.
Let's just go.
It can't hurt unless you're taking me into an alley to stab me.
I think the time for that between us is long past.
I think so.
Not even for fun?
All right. So, going to... Actually, let's go to the Hallow Hall map here. Leaving the root cellar. Surprisingly, Sam walks you up along towards the northway, which goes up a pretty considerable slope towards the coastline. As you reach around here or so, there's one old, what appears to be a ruined lighthouse that is long decayed and crumbled down into the ocean. There is a small tree growing out of it that is rather haggard and has seen better days, but is still clearly alive.
Well, that's something.
You see, as you're approaching, there is a hooded figure standing over what appears to be a stone.
Hand twitches, but they don't like. She's on edge.
Mm-hmm. Of course. So as you approach, you are able to make out pretty quickly that it is Headmaster Reuben.
Oh, Reuben.
Nat, or whatever name you would prefer to go by.
I'm in public. I'm that.
Fair enough. Works fine by me. Sam's told me a little bit about what's gone on before this. I think we're in a bit of a period of great transition and transparency. Or a need for it, rather.
Well, you've seen what I am.
I did. In the square, yes.
I have. But it's not the first time I have lost my face when in the heat of a particularly difficult fight.
Be difficult to hold control, especially in a world that's not kind. Which makes planting seeds of kindness all the more important.
Not kind is an understatement.
Come closer. I want you to see something.
Well, alright. She does, though.
As you approach, you notice that he's standing next to a stone, comes up to about hip height on him. It is very polished and actually flatly carved, and you start to realize it has carvings and engravings on it.
Oh. Oh. Do I recognize the writing?
You recognize the name up at the top of it.
What is it? Is it Nern?
It's Nern.
Oh. What's this?
It's a real shame. Learning that there was someone helping me in my efforts without me even knowing it in the town. Hallow Hall is supposed to be open to all. That's the whole merit of it. All those who wish to come and wish to learn. I've had many changelings come under my care. And they all kept so quiet about him. Once they learned he was dead, I've had many come forward and speak. Sam included.
Oh.
I never knew him. Go ahead.
Her face scrunches up, like trying to hold in emotion.
I never knew him, but his cause was a just one, and that deserves something. Even if the best I can offer is a quiet, secluded view.
Her eyes widen a little and like realizing what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks out. She looks out at the view. Oh, yeah, she looks out at the view. I think he would have liked this.
Good. Your authority is the utmost on that, so that does my heart good to hear it. I'm sorry for how much you've lost, perhaps more than anyone else in all of this.
I don't know what else. Fuck. And like, start when you're trying really hard not to cry, but like they still start to come out anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's not even raining, so you can't use the Full Metal Alchemist excuse.
After the fight, I almost just let myself bleed out. But I realized I didn't want that.
But
now I have no idea what to do. I've got these new people, which is already something I'm not used to. They seem like good people, which is also
they do.
something I'm not used to.
That they do. It's a rare thing. I've built up my own little conclave of good people that I try to work with as much as I can. I can understand. You have to work out for yourself and for others, especially people in our position.
Our position as in
He unmasks.
what?
Screenshot will go through.
Yeah, boy!
Damn.
What a twist.
God! Her
What a
jaw
twist!
dropped. Oh my gosh!
You're a changeling. He's a changeling. Any other changelings I need to know about here? Everyone unmasks.
Hello there.
I do, and I was surrounded by changelings.
Vask is just like, oh, I can stop pretending? Okay, good. Everyone's on the same page.
Oh my god, I thought I was the only one.
The secret is there are no humans, there's only changelings.
We wiped out all the humans ages ago.
But we don't know that, so we have to hide from each other.
Yeah, the Oglav comic of like everyone in this room is a shapeshifter. They stab each other. It's like, oh shit, I think I know that guy.
It's like for that old Far Side where all the sheep in the herd are wolves wearing sheep costumes. Wait a minute. All right, so you behold a very clear changeling in the form of the headmaster.
Really?
You said some very unkind things to me when we first met.
I mean, let's be clear here. You being a changeling does not change that.
I suppose not.
My words were unkind, but we were in a dire situation. You were telling us things, and we lost people.
Indeed. I know. A lot more has come out, and you were right ultimately.
suppose I could have been more tactful.
Well,
Don't worry.
there's always room for growth. Well, should you desire it, there is a place for you here. But I can understand if you want to leave this valley behind you.
I thought I don't know. I don't know anything right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to leave, but I don't know if that's just because this is where I've been, or if it's because I actually fucking like it here. I can't even. I don't know. Everything is just in the haze.
I understand, believe it or not. Or, well, it took me a long time to get to where I am now.
I can imagine.
I used to be a gutter rat in Grindhall. Got lucky.
Well, you know, I used to be a wizard.
Wow, then we came the exact opposite directions then.
I my parent was teaching me before things went the way they did.
Hmm.
She like like decided that is missing the arm, like twitches, like she's trying to do something with it, for she scowls, and with her remaining arm reaches into her cloak and pulls out her old spellbook.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've spoken to the dragons. They will meet with you.
They will.
Aye. If anyone in this valley is capable of that, aiding you with your issue, they're quite capable.
My arm that got ripped off. Yes.
Well, now I know that you can be blunt about that. Some people are delicate about such things.
Delicate does not. Me and delicate does not belong together.
If you say so. We've been attempting to find Miss Esther's missing arm out in the forest for a time. But, well, there hasn't been any fruit from that yet with all the cleanup and everything going on. But I figured at the very least...
Can you not use a spell? A locate object?
Doesn't really show up, unfortunately.
Magic, I'm assuming. She glances at Esther.
He just kind of shrugs. Yeah. Yet another one of those things. My father made it. It is strangely hard to trace.
Well, it's suppose that if you yourself were hard to trace, you know, your arm being an easy thing to trace would defeat the purpose.
Well, I wish I could ask him, but he's been dead for a long time.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
But we're gonna try to find it. Some dragons are... Some hordes are very skilled in artifice, the art of magical tinkering machinery. I don't know what the expertise here at these Silvers are, but they are rather secretive about their own production. Indeed, Reuben kind of chimes in. Indeed, they've not shared much, but I've explained the situation and said that they would look at you.
She makes a face. I'd be amenable to that, I suppose. I would like to do something about this.
Imagine.
I respect someone who can go without, but I work with my hands. That's all I've got. My hands and my mind. That's it. I'd like not to be down what little I have left. What little I have.
Well, I hope they're able to aid you. If not, well, there technically is another option.
What's that?
It's not one I would recommend personally, but Miriam spoke to me as well upon learning of the situation.
Is that something the hags can do?
Apparently, yes, though they never do things for free.
Huh.
I am willing to discuss things more openly with them and from going forward.
It
I
couldn't
cannot.
hurt. Especially with
Oh,
how
it
this
could.
went.
It could hurt considerably, but yes.
Yeah, fair enough, hags.
They are just as capable
Really?
of serving others, but they will always serve themselves in turn at the same time.
Hmm.
It's in their nature, and it's what they do. They have their own goals, and they don't share them with anyone.
I
But,
think
at the very least, Miriam and I are speaking again. First time in
Oh.
70 years.
are you happy about that?
I would have said yes until, well, meeting Shem again. That's just made it strange.
Wait. 70 years.
Hi.
How old were you when you stopped talking?
Oh, I was young. Oh, wait, yes, that's right. I've largely kept to this face, and, well, the pursuit of wizardry is actually quite common for changelings in this regard, because enough contact with magic, strangely enough, can extend things.
So, so doing magic and being magical makes us last longer.
Can. Doesn't always, but it's worked for me.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I dropped magic because I didn't have the heart for it anymore. But you know, it could have made me live longer.
Or it could have gotten you killed sooner.
We could have. Fuck. I definitely would not have survived all the bar fights I've been in since.
Indeed.
Does Miriam know? Did Shen know?
Neither of them. In fact, the only ones here in this entire college who know are you three, Professor Dimley.
Oh my god.
Nothing can hide from his special eyes.
Oh, this is a lot. I figured not many people knew, but that's even less than I thought.
Can't trust every noble's brat that comes through these doors.
Oh god, no. Fuck.
I
So
hope that
Is that why
I
you
hope
went
this.
to him, Sam?
Yeah, actually, I found out through a mutual friend, another adventurer, about him. That's why we brought him here, to see if we could figure something out with Esther among about as safe a company as we could.
I suppose so.
Oh, we'll probably, from what we've learned, probably have to make ourselves scarce pretty soon. Especially
Right.
if what your mind-reading friend found out from that one cleric is true.
It's vast. He seems very good at reading minds. Well, he is very good at reading minds. I watched it happen. She did not give that information up willingly, which means it was definitely true.
Ugh. Well,
Her nose was bleeding and everything.
well, if a judge is going to come into these borders with the first thaws, it's best that we're as far away from the college as possible by then. I've only met one of them, but I imagine that the others know, at the very least.
We'll find a way to kill them eventually.
Leave you me. If you find out, I will find you.
Single for you, I have unfinished business.
Good. We'll probably be heading south into Daynor. Mountain passes. The Black Dragons there owe us a favor. They'll grant us shelter for a time. I could probably get you through. Maybe even some others, but they're wary of outsiders.
No, I don't. I don't need shelter. If this judge finds me, which I mean, God only knows, then so be it. But I doubt he'll come looking for me.
We'll find out, I guess.
Hey, if I die for hurting a judge, I guess. Well, that's another reason you have to kill him.
Makes a very conflicted face there for a moment. Just, I wish I knew how to respond to that. Is exactly what you're getting out of that.
Look, I don't. I've already said. I saw death. I could have let it come, and I don't find any thought to it anymore. I thought it was. I thought it would just make all this end, but. God, I don't even know if the afterlife is safe for us.
Yeah, I've gotten very nebulous answers about that one, too. And Esther didn't even go there, apparently. So, nope, she just kind of chimes up. Just felt like I was sleeping the whole time.
Do you find anything else about what is going on with you, Esther?
Reuben shakes his head. Even my talents could not ascertain the nature of whatever it is that afflicts her.
Well, no offense. You are wise and powerful, but you're not all-seeing.
Well, I mean, I've never claimed that.
No, but my point is, something out there has to have something.
I hope. I'm probably their last option right now.
Well, it needed to be said because sometimes wizards get big heads.
It's the only big head they have.
How dare. So,
Don't ask. I don't know why. I don't know.
just clears his throat for a moment. I don't know where you'll be able to go to find answers if Hallow Hall can't find them for you, but if I can ask, just for the sake of my own worries, where beyond Daynor are you going? Sam just kind of looks around. If we can manage it, on Kelba. But that's easier said than done.
Can I roll on that name?
Yeah,
History?
absolutely.
Let's go 12. 14.
Yeah. It's not something commonly brought up in conversation, but the name is familiar. It's on the maps. Ankelba is directly east of here. It is a very secretive empire that nobody's really been able to go to for centuries. They once tried to conquer the West, then they retreated after they got beaten. Anybody who tries to cross that border, there are massive black towers that supposedly no one can ever cross.
Oh my god. Why are you going there?
Because I think my father was from there, Esther says.
Then
And I don't know. There's a lot I don't know. If we're not going to find answers at Hallow Hall, then that's probably the last place we can look.
Do you need help getting there?
Black dragons can help us.
Do you need help getting there?
I don't think so. We have friends waiting for us.
You mentioned some important
Another
friends.
one. Yes, another one that is from Ankelba too, and supposedly claims he can get us back in. The Furbolg that I mentioned.
Oh. Shit.
I'm not sure how he'd react to you if you wore that face. He's an odd one. I've not met many Furbolgs, but
I mean, I mean, if he's upset about it, I'm sorry, but I need to not get murdered on the street. So
no, I understand. I'm just not sure how he'd react, and I'm not saying that, and I don't think he'd be angry. I mean, I genuinely don't know how he'd react.
maybe I'll meet him one day and find out.
Maybe. Well,
If you need help, you know where to find me.
same goes for you.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'm in one place. You're going to be moving. That's going to be trickier.
Well, I'm glad I was able to meet you properly, Jeddah.
And trails off and looks at him. Like, you know, you are.
Reuben is the name I've chosen to go by for some time. I've abandoned any I had before.
Reuben. I am honored that you told me. Well, you. Oh God, excuse me. Sorry. I'm honored that you showed me this.
Good. More honesty, the better we can get these days. So, I have duties I need to get back to.
I suppose I should tell you.
Yes.
What was the name of the judge that I figured out was the one who killed?
Cabral.
I have beef with Cabral.
I've never met him, though I've heard plenty of stories from these two. They have history with him as well. If they're sending one diplomatically to collect fallen soldiers, I have sent a messenger to the nearest outpost of theirs in the valley that I can, that they all fell. But I don't think they'd send the likes of him for that. He seems more the type they sent to clean.
Well, I thought you should know. As you said, trying to be more honest.
I thank you.
And I would like to talk to Shermius.
Eyes just kind of narrow for a moment.
You turn me down, I understand, but I just...
I'll warn you. It's only gotten more conniving and disturbing to be near it.
Oh, great. Thought using my the voice of dead people was bad enough.
It's learned it doesn't even have to do that anymore. It seems to almost enjoy its captivity.
What if you can't kill it?
Then I'll keep it contained and make it the duty of every successor of this college to do the same.
Have you tried? Look, far be it from me to be the one to recommend this spot. And after what it's done, I'd rather see it dead. But have you tried working things out?
Believe it or not, I had. In a moment of weakness, I did apologize to my friend for the actions I took. It grew angry and said that I should never apologize for acts of divine providence. My friend was in there. Or is. He's far too consumed to return. But if you wish to speak, I would recommend all of you come along. In case Sight finds some means of breaking out again, I know you were able to defeat it once.
I will bring it up when I see them all next. Probably when Anaphora awakes.
See what I can do. In the meantime, let's get out of the cold.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
She
of
looks
course.
back at the grave again. You really will look like this.
Good. And with that, you all depart and go your separate ways. All right. So, is there anything anyone else wanted to do before we move things along?
Not me.
Okay.
Nope. Vask is busy. Just working.
Alrighty.
Drawing up plans.
Bara's
All right.
studying and also still freaking out about that letter because she's not good at it.
Oh.
Well, pretty situated where she is.
All right.
Going to the ball barrow can wait.
Yep. So, the next big thing would be after several days, better part of a week being unconscious, Anaphora would awaken.
Oh.
Yeah, who is there at the moment? I know.
At the very exact moment that it happened, Hildegard's the only one that said that they're super committed. Now, Garm said as well that they'd be sticking around, largely.
Especially now that everyone's buried.
Yeah, also I figured Vask would be still staying at the guild hall, so he'd be there, morning and night.
Yep, you would have been able to be called in at the very least very quickly. So yeah, I'd say at the very beginning it would be Hildegard and Garm when Anaphora first regains consciousness.
Do you notice her stirring at first?
Probably not right at first because she's not gotten the best sleep or the best food. Little, not the greatest emotional point, and then she's probably just like got a light, peck on like the forehead, and from one of the ravens, and she blinks to full alertness and looks over, and like she sees Anaphora stirring, she's gonna reach for a minute and then just very gently like place a hand like close by that you could feel the fabric moving, but not like directly on Anaphora.
So she kind of stirs slowly at first, and you see her open her eye. She stares at the ceiling for a minute, and you see this intense look of disappointment cross her face before it's erased. But when she feels you touch the bed, she will turn and look at you, and one side of her face is covered in bandages.
She tries to say something for a minute and just chokes up a bit, and then just very lightly moves her hand over to just carefully touch Anna's shoulder, since it's probably one of the few places that's okay to touch. Not bandaged or heavily wounded.
She'll see you, and it takes her a second for the fog to clear, but she'll look at you, and her eye will light up, and she'll smile at you and put her hand over your hand on her shoulder.
She tries to smile and ends up just kind of doing the weird, like, the weird hiccup sob, the kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Just, oh,
feel her squeeze your hand a little bit.
just like, oh, you're awake.
It appears I am.
We've waited for some time.
How long?
7 days.
A week? It's been a week.
I'm sorry for worrying you for so long.
I'm sorry this isn't quite what you wanted.
There is a look of chagrin on her face, and she's like, "Oh, you saw that,
I mean, yeah, there were hints before, but
There's a very crooked smile that crosses her face, and there's no joy in her eyes at all, or her eye. I've never been good at hiding it.
you're better than most. I'm gonna go get the others. Garm, you okay to stay?
Yes.
Okay. She's just gonna like stand up real quick, and she's gonna nod to Laug to remain like in the room, and then she's gonna head out.
All right. All right. So it is just Garm and Anaphora for the moment.
Excellent.
She'll turn her full attention towards you and go, "Hello, Garm. Is everybody all right?"
No. Everyone lives, but you're not the only one to come away hurt.
Her hand reaches out towards you, like shaking, goes, "You?"
No. Jeddah, she's down an arm now.
That's gonna be a hard loss for a while.
Yes. Part of me wants to apologize for not being here to help you. Yet, none of us could have predicted this happening.
No, it was very strange. Would she have seen the hunters turning in the streets?
Most of them were already turned by the time they arrived.
But I would have been
But,
able to
you-
guess.
They usually recognized the garb and the fact that they were, werewolves. They
Also,
look.
Vast did send that. He did use the sending to warn that the hunters had changed.
This is true.
Nobody. The moon was early.
Yes. They had made preparations, but all undone.
seems to be moving faster this season.
About that, we got the one who did it. Or at least, knocked it down enough to be bottled up. Do you remember the laboratory belonging to Ruben's old colleague?
Yes, I do.
It appears he achieved an apotheosis of a sort. He is the one responsible for the recent troubles in the valley. Oh, I say he, but it's more of a they now. I don't know what's wrong with them, but there's some kind of bizarre gestalt of souls and blood.
The red smiling thing that Vesk saw.
Yes. And it had delusions of godhood. Though anything strong enough to accelerate the moon's, well, certainly powerful. Ruben has it locked. But we're not sure if we can kill it.
Is Ruben okay? That must be hard.
I have not seen much of the headmaster in these last few days. He's been devoting his energies to maintaining the prison.
Someone should check on him.
It might be wise, yes.
Just as a note, my sinus problems are helping me do this raspy voice, but it's making my throat worse.
Yeah, don't push yourself harder than you need to.
I'm good. I'm taking sips of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I know I prepared a lot of potential raspy voiced characters for this session, thinking my time has come.
I'll kick my own ass.
Are you okay, Garm?
The hunters, they're all gone. Who's not among them?
I am sorry. I know that you like
Yes.
them.
I did not expect to when I first heard of them sharing the valley with us, but I came to know more of them and their struggle. It was I who put Lusant down.
Are you close enough for her to grab your hand?
Yes.
She will. When you say that.
It's a very very unfamiliar gesture to him. He feels a little awkward holding your
Yeah.
weak hand.
She's gonna squeeze it as best she can and go. You never know when you're going to find friends, or among who you will find them. And it's always hard to lose them.
Yes. You're a gentle soul, Anaphora.
There's that crooked, joyless smile again. He goes. She doesn't respond to that. Beyond that.
You deserve
Right.
better than what you get.
That will be it for me.
All right. Well, this would be a good time if anybody is nearby and would have been within earshot of Hildegard saying that Anaphora was up. I know Vasquez said so.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, who gets Nat?
Well, if Vask learns that, he will use a sending to Nat,
Okay.
just because that's the most expedient way. Just like, not even using the full 25 words. It's like, hey, Nat, just letting you know, Anaphora is awake. We're all going to go meet her. We're all going to go see her if you want to meet up.
Yeah, no, just a simple. I'm on the way.
All right.
Anaphora awake, get over here, ho.
Get over here, ho.
Maybe we should bring Vara so Callie has to talk to herself.
No, don't do that. Don't do
I
that.
know,
to
I
me.
know.
Vara's still too busy going through her 17th iteration of that letter.
It's like,
She's
hey,
going-
Anaphora, come meet your replacement.
Meet new Anaphora.
Who are you? I'm you, except way
Younger.
ditzier.
I'm younger.
I'm younger and have the autism.
I'm you with the college education.
And anxiety.
All right, so at the very least, Vask would enter the room and Hildegard would return as well. You know that Nat being on the way, you can be as close to the guild hall as you like, so we don't have to wait too long if you don't want to. I'm just saying it's up to you how quickly you get there.
Pretty quickly. She can actually move absurdly fast within the town now.
Because you're lighter.
Like, part of her level is she can now move
Wow.
twice as fast inside of a settlement she's familiar with.
It's just like Dragon Ball's weighted clothing.
Wow.
Now in combat, you can travel between any 2 points in the settlement twice as fast as your speed would normally allow.
Excellent. All right, so yeah, you really
She might
bob
even-
and weave. You're in a hell of a hurry.
Sprint,
Yeah, she might.
sprinting,
She might
you're
even
faster,
get there.
but your parkour is a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. She might even get there before Vask and Hildegard get back.
They're inside the guild hall.
Okay,
That
was
would be
Vask
really
in the guild hall?
Instant transmission.
I'm on my way.
Fingers in her forehead.
It's
Yeah,
just like that moment of like, Thor, get down here. All Father, Jesus Christ! Don't do that.
Yeah, she's there for us.
All right, so you're on
The
your way
stealthy
pretty
slab
quickly.
of beef.
Yep, you're on your way there. So, but for now, Vask and Anaphora, well, Vask and Hildegard enter. Anaphora and Garm are speaking. So, resume.
Hildegard is probably just being quiet because Raven's getting the chickens, but anything Vask has to say? Vara's just, Anaphora is just gonna smile at you as you come in.
Okay, it's... sorry, diesel engines going by. Fast goes, hey, Anaphora, it's good to see you're awake. A little touch and go there for a while.
It's nice to see you too, Vask. Not that she's awake. Nice to see you. Not that she's awake.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's already thinking to himself that after this, he's going to go to the kitchen and make something that she can handle, but delicious. A tasty soup.
I heard that you all had a interesting time yesterday. Or not yesterday, I guess 7 days ago. a lot of
It,
science.
it was.
Since Raven
I'm
is
not
back
sure.
now. Raven is back, so yes,
Well,
you guys are back in the room with Anaphora now. With Jeddah on the way as quickly as their ungodly speed can go.
Yeah, good lord.
so like 5 minutes maybe.
You just straight up Assassin's Creed off the roof of a building outside and a couple of students walking by just, holy shit!
Yeah, goddamn, that's how they move around town now. I just want you to know that's official.
Holy shit! It's just does the dive as Nat into the into the hay bale, walks out as Ikla.
That's the craziest Texas switch I've ever seen.
Leaps over people too slow to get the fuck out the way.
It's like those movies where it's just obviously a stuntman doing the stunt.
You just run by, put your hand on top of someone's head, and vault over them.
Occasionally shouting, parkour!
Excuse me, pardon me. Just like
Too slow.
completely jumps over a student.
They nearly collapse under you, but it's all good. So,
Move, bitch. Get out the way.
anyways, if there's anything anyone wants to say before Nat gets there.
Yes,
Yeah.
give me the questions.
Hildegard just once more over by her side. Just
Vask is honestly feeling a little awkward because he does not know what to say. It's a charisma-based caster, but situations.
I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Just she's kind of just biting her lower lip and just says, "I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything for this."
Why are you sorry?
Because I could have once.
She kind of like gathers herself a little bit. She thinks for a second. She goes, "Judging yourself by what you once could do isn't something that anybody should do. Especially not somebody who very clearly cares about people."
You're lucky I'm dehydrated. I'd be crying again. She does sniff a bit, just yeah, I know. That's easy to say, not easy to remember. And oh, I wish I could hang back and help you with this, because this is a lot of adjusting to do.
I've adjusted to a lot before. I can do it again.
If it helps any of the witches might have ways to at least make this better. They do ask a price, though.
Yeah, that's one thing Anaphora would notice. Vask is glowing.
She's
Right.
she's not gonna bring attention to that because you look like self-conscious about it. So
No, when Hildegard brings up the hags gifts have a price, he goes, "Yeah, that's if you're wondering, that's why I'm glowing. We had to make a deal with them."
I'm so sad lava lamps can't exist, because with his color shifting, I'd call him a fucking lava lamp.
I mean, he
They're gonna
did
be
pull
calling
off a
them
disco
Vask
ball
lamps.
thing.
That glad.
He did pull off a disco ball thing because he was on top of a translucent beholder in the sky as he's glowing, so it shined through it.
A lamp of many colors.
There we go.
that's gonna happen now.
Oh, fuck.
That sounds like an actual item you would find in a D&D.
It does.
It actually kind of does. All right.
The
Magic
viscous
City's
lamp
magic
of many
stoplights.
colors.
Viscous lamp. That's a collection of words.
Viscous.
So,
I did notice that, but it's fetching? He says that as like a question. And I don't know what I would have to
it's-
offer a hag.
Oh, the worst you could do is ask.
They kind of owe us.
I don't think they could reverse anything, but they might be able to make it tolerable.
She just kind of turns and smiles to the ceiling and goes, "There's no worry about me being able to tolerate this. I'll tolerate it for as long as I have to."
say now's been just about enough time to where you parkour your way over to the entire interior of the guild hall.
Can I come in through the window?
So I'm not the only one who thought of that.
Oh, it came to me too.
Same.
We just hear a rapping on the window.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that.
are there birds outside? It's like, wait, no, they're both in here. Who is that?
That
Turns.
perched in the windowsill.
Might have to go into Eagles size just to get in the window.
Oh god, you're right. Whatever, I'm here.
Ma,
right.
there's a weird looking bird outside.
It looks like Grandma.
I was more thinking of if you come in as the kobold, I was thinking of that scene for Monsters Inc. Mama, another gator got in the house.
Oh my god.
Hand me that shovel.
God, she'll take the shovel and turn it back on you. Careful.
Careful, those are Louisiana rednecks.
They'll eat you.
That happened
Anyway.
in a Predator comic where the Predator was in the Deep South and it got cooked in the very last page.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, I'm here. On the floor, you're awake.
I am.
She looks at you. She has the cloak covering her arm, so like its intent is so it's not immediately obvious she's missing an arm. Like you already know, but you know, the intent is to make it look like she's not missing one. But she looks you very deep in the kind of looks into your eyes for a minute. Can she read your disappointment to be here?
She's not hiding it, so yeah.
Okay.
You're looking more self-loathing than usual.
Yeah, I thought as much. I expected this much when you looked up.
Again, there's just that weird smile.
Yeah, I got it. I almost did the same, but the path's not for me, I'm afraid.
Oh, you misunderstand. I'm not suicidal, Nat. I
don't
simply
think you
don't
are.
care if I survive or not.
That's about what I expected. I understand. But that's where I was. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or whatever. You have your reasons, and I do not judge you for them. Not that I think that really matters to you, but oh, fuck, we're in the room, just us, whatever. She shrinks back down. I'm assuming that they've told you already.
Yes. I wasn't going to bring attention to it if you didn't want me to, though.
I don't care. I mean, I care, but beating around the bush about it isn't going to make it any. It isn't going to make it there. Suddenly there. You've already seen my face. There's no point in hiding my missing arm. For what it counts, I'm glad you're still alive.
She looks like she's picking words very carefully in her mind when she replies, I'm glad to see you all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't warn you sooner.
She kind of gives that rusty chuckle that she has and goes, I don't know if even a few minutes more would have given me anything. I sort of acted as a fox in a fox hunt.
Aw. I assume you heard about Louison?
Yes. I am sorry that you had to do that. And I'm sorry that he's gone. He seemed a very genuine person.
Yes.
Yeah, he seemed to be. Oh, fuck.
From what little I spoke with him, I think it was a mercy. I don't think he wished to be a monster like that against everything he had hunted, everything he had stood for in life.
I know.
And yeah, Vasquez kind of saying that towards Garm. Just
I was protecting Jeddah.
I appreciate you doing that. I would have preferred he'd come out of it alive.
Part of me doubts he would have anyways. All the other hunters dropped dead. Felt like there was no winning that situation.
You mentioned that red thing did something.
Yes.
I think it set this entire thing up.
The hag, the early winter, the red moon, the crazed
the
hunters.
slime that cleaned out the lab. I think that was just a piece of it.
And you
Yeah.
were
I touched its mind just briefly, and it was like listening to a cathedral packed from from floor to rafter, just full of screaming bodies, all screaming at once, but in unison. And that was only just listening. I didn't even probe.
And
I told us that we should run and come back later, and that's Vask. He kind of falls silent, but he's got that look of shame now.
that was the headmaster's friend, right? The other one.
Part of it.
Missing 70 years
It was
ago.
within there. It was within there, yeah. And it claimed that it manipulated time to bring the moon early, but also to. It's why the snows came early, to trap the valley, to trap everyone in here.
So, it had all of that time to plan, all of those minds at its disposal. I don't think any of you should feel bad for not seeing through plans set in stone that long.
You're not going to stop me.
And you shouldn't feel bad for being intimidated by it either, Vask. That is not a thing that normal people usually brush with their mind.
I mean, I'm not normal people, says the
No.
glowing man.
No,
Are any of us?
kind people, gentle people that can't conceive of what that thing was doing, listening to it that way. Even the stoutest mind would want to run.
That's the thing. I've hunted Fellspawn basically all my life. Reached into their minds. I've touched things that are truly alien, and that's the scary part. This was humanity just. I can't even describe it.
That is the unfortunate part of humanity, though, isn't it, Vask? All of the cruelties that the Fellspawn are capable of are only because that is how they were made. Humanity can choose it. You're all lighting up and not saying anything.
Well,
Sorry.
Humble
That
silence.
seems. Yeah.
It's very somber in here.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, she's down a leg, a hand, and an eye. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could throw in a comic relief character if you want.
She
No,
really,
I mean, like,
she
it's not-
really wanted to die.
Yeah. Like, it's not somber just because of Anaphora, but like it's on both ends.
yeah. Another thing, the witches said that something like the hunters were using blood they shouldn't. I think it may have tricked them into thinking it, and taking part of itself would help stabilize them.
Who knows how long this thing has been planning it. I had gotten the impression that this secret of theirs, they had known it for some time, but we are dealing with something that has some degree of power over time. I just don't know. That is something that has been eating at me.
Something we can do when we have the chance. Just to look for a cleric.
It's going to be hard.
With their help.
It's going to be
There
hard.
are no clerics in this valley.
I am aware, unfortunately.
I came here in search of one, but she's been dead for years.
We can look elsewhere. We're not stuck in this valley.
We are until winter passes, and who knows how long that will last now.
And we should probably be gone when the judge comes. I don't know if the Reich's holy woman spoke with the judge after I pried the truth out of her. She was having some kind of long distance arcane or divine, I suppose, communication with them, similar to what I can do.
I suppose not being here when the judge arrives is a valid plan.
Yes, and honestly, I wasn't planning to stay beyond the winter here anyways. I have not so much goals, but the hunting grounds here aren't what I'm looking for.
No, I guess.
I'm mobile enough. I'm going to ask. I suppose one of the wizards at the college, if they have a way to send me somewhere that I know I will be safe to recuperate. I think I'm going to take some time for myself.
That's a good idea. If you need a place to go, I suppose the root cellar is open.
I mean, out of this valley. If a judge is coming, I want nothing to do with it.
What about Walter?
Yeah, do I know how Walter's doing?
You've been unconscious. Last you saw, he was at the very least stable. Though if any of you have asked in the last 7 days, he is recovering, but he is very old, so most of his time is sleeping.
Okay.
But he's not getting
I guess
worse.
Mask would have, because has he been conscious?
Barely. He's been kind of hazy.
He's
very old.
He's sleep recovering.
Then
I know the feeling, Walter. Sleepy
Yeah,
witch
Mask would
disease.
say that Walter is still recovering. He's come to a couple of times, but he's still just recuperating.
I figured as much. Anything that doesn't kill that old man outright isn't going to.
The fighting didn't really get much indoors. It was mostly contained to the streets.
There was a reason I played the fox to the hounds.
Yeah, you and Rousier actually came to an agreement on that front. You were supposed to try, if you found anybody out in the streets, to lure them towards the guild hall, and he would be the wall there, alongside any merchants that wanted to fight.
Oh, Zeb, was it?
Yeah. You've been running into him
Okay.
as well. He's okay. He got some cuts and scrapes, but he definitely is alive and whole.
Yeah, I think that to help a little bit, since Vask actually got through the moon nightmare stuff unharmed, he was still damaged from the behemoth fight before. But he would have like tried to help people and like cooked.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's something he knows that helps people when there's been like a traumatic thing. You know, someone has to handle the cooking.
It's true.
I regret I won't be able to travel with you. You're the most interesting, friendly group I've come across in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, that's slim pickings, kid. She just kind of smiles at you.
Raises an eyebrow. Kid. Really?
It's not about the years, it's about the mileage.
Reiterate words. I mean, if you're able to one day, it's not out of the possible. It's not impossible that you can do it again.
I'm not out yet, so I have to keep going. That is simply how it is.
Yes.
We are all gonna miss you.
Yes.
She reaches out to Hildegard and grabs her hand again and goes, I will miss you the most, I think.
Aww.
Oh my
Just
god.
get you.
I'm gonna shove you down and then kick you.
I can't do this again. She
I'll
smiles.
miss you most of all, Scarecrow.
You and Garm were the first I met, so I believe I connected to both of you very quickly.
Likewise. You shown me kindness. I was a perfect stranger. Not sure if I would have been wrapped up with all this. Met you all without a anaphora here.
When I lost my face, you were the first one to react, and your first reaction was to try and protect me.
You didn't treat me like some broken thing.
It's because none of you are.
I mean, I'm missing an arm. I think objectively I am.
Everyone, including the birds, just makes eye contact.
Just everyone slowly looks over.
Dude.
Not that way. Not that way.
That was her attempt at the joke.
You see the two ravens shaking their heads.
Don't quit your J job, miss.
You could vaguely see Biter off in the distance shaking his head.
Somehow leans to the window. We're on the second floor.
He doesn't care.
His sensitive horse ears prick up hearing that. Goes back to munching on someone's pork chicken.
Biter being able to climb like a goat is a scary thought.
Oh my god.
I don't.
That's more like a Skyrim horse. He just runs straight up.
Jeez,
Or like
I
Roach,
that
he
even
just-
less.
Or like Roach, he's already there.
I'm at your spirits. You're all a little bruised, a little battered, but you're not broken. Bloodied but unbowed.
Oh, god damn. Damn you! Damn you, Callie!
That's a gameplay joke.
Also, it's my favorite poem, so.
That's literally my half HP, fuck you ability.
I know, that's why I like it. It's from my favorite poem.
It's great. Bloody but unbowed. I suppose we're not wrong.
Being able to take the hits that life keeps giving you and getting back up is an admirable trait. You all have it.
I hope you don't mind if occasionally I, and he kind of taps the side of his head, check up on you, right?
No, I would welcome that.
Well, I can't talk to you psychically, so I guess I guess I'll just pester Vask to send you messages if I feel like saying anything.
As long as it's 25 letters, 25 words or less.
I mean, you could just cast the spell more than once.
we have a week. We have weeks. We have a week of long rest.
I'm making these count, damn it.
Points. There's a reason why I went sorcerer. So sorcery points. If I have them, I yes.
Vask's new nickname is the Mailman.
Oh no.
Yes, the post office.
The post office. Vask of the many post offices.
Or just the operator.
Man, Vask is just going to invent everything in this setting.
Ask of many nicknames.
Vask of many inventions.
Many nicknames. Yes.
God, it's like the MMO just collecting all the titles just so I can say I have them.
Vask of the many side jobs.
Yeah, sometime in the future of this setting, people are going to be opening up history books. It's like, why does Vask keep popping up?
Fuck did this man do?
Is it like a bunch of different people who just had the same name?
Has
You'd
to
be the
be.
same guy, right?
There will be intense debates about this if I do games set centuries from now.
It's like, no, there's a different title here, but it's the same name, same description. What?
Instead of Victorian man, it's the Vaskian man.
God.
All right, so if that seems like a pretty organic point for this conversation, so going forward, the next day, you all would actually be met at the door at the guild hall by one of the Megan constructs from the college. It would be specifically seeking Jeddah, actually, though I will say Nat. Your request has been approved.
Can I say I brought up to them the plan to the hope to talk to Remius?
Yeah, you could say you talked to Shimei about the Shimei's plan. Yeah.
Remius, yeah. Before we all broke apart yesterday, Jenna did say she wanted to talk to Shemius. Mostly just because she wants to get some kind of confirmation whether Nern is really in there.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Vasco. Vasco's kind of wanting to speak to it again.
All right. So you two
So
definitely are
kind of
going.
not wanting to, but yeah, he's gone.
All right.
Hildegard will voice her opposition to meeting with this thing, but she is going with.
All right.
I don't think it was, but the more of us there, we can support each other.
We beat it the fuck once before. We can do it again.
All right. I will leave it up. I will say that I'll leave it up to whether Vara being invited or not. Probably, I can't think of a good reason why Ruben would invite a student under his care to go talk to an eldritch abomination.
Nah,
Ah.
that's like for mission 3 or 4 with us.
Yeah. So, you guys arrive at the college not for long. Ruben is there, just inside the interior hall. Hold on one moment. I had music for this. Just ambient sounds. Okay, there we go. You all came. Good. Good. The gravity of this request is immense. I hope you understand.
I do. I do.
Miriam's waiting down below. Someone has to be watching it at pretty much all times.
Okay, so out of character, DM. It's been a week. Am I still glowing?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Just as we're walking, and like it's like, hey, Ruben, when we get a chance, we gotta talk. I gotta ask for some help
Oh.
with this. This is getting to be ridiculous. It's been a week.
Yes, I can imagine that's quite inconvenient.
Ruben. Also,
Aye.
she pulls out some of Louison's decaying stuff. If you can, maybe some of your people can look at this stuff.
Where'd you get this?
This was Louison's.
All the old hunters I've ever interacted with never would carry spoiled goods.
I don't think they were spoiled before he died.
Time magic, more likely. It's a very poorly studied subject, but I'll see what we can find out. I'll ask the librarians. And if need be, come spring, I'll contact the actual experts.
And what of the blade?
We've locked it away. Sealed it. Much easier to take care of than this. As per your
Wait.
request.
What was wrong with the blade?
It was cursed. I don't know whether by the events of the Red Moon or beforehand. It was hungry. Demanded blood, and most specifically, your vision.
Vision?
Wield it long enough and it would take the eyes right out of your skull and plant it along its own haft.
Christ.
Remember when we fought Lusant? He had a sash over his eyes.
Yes, the illusion
Oh.
was dropped. He likely had been blind for some time, but the blade granted him sight so long as he wielded it.
Fuck.
That sounds too familiar to me.
You hear in your mind, specifically, Jeddah, I must say to a point about his character. He likely knew what I was the entire time and said nothing.
In response, she says, yeah, mentally, can she reply?
Yeah.
He knew what I was as well and didn't say anything until I revealed myself. We smell different.
So it
Apparently.
seems. Just a brief little nod in your direction. All right. Down we go. The catacombs await.
Well, it must be convenient to smell like candles and you work with books all the time. No one's going to suspect a thing.
Ah,
If I do anything stupid, stop me. I don't intend
scented candle
to.
changeling.
I don't intend to, but I don't know. He used Nern's voice before, and I don't who knows what he'll do now.
I wish I could tell you what to expect. But, at the very least, it's yet to try to break out. Come. Just swifts the hand and a stairway appears in a nearby wall. You'll notice that there are not many students nearby as you've walked further in. And as you descend down, you travel down one lone spiral staircase for some time. More than an hour passes at some point. This college
Matt
was
is
originally... Go ahead.
visibly getting more and more anxious as we go.
This is just a non-stop spiral staircase. I'm getting dizzy.
This place was originally constructed by dragons. They love inserting little details. Only way I learned my way around is because of the Maiden of the Mountain herself. Saw fit to teach. Though, this is one that we've built ourselves. Specifically for this. And as you arrive down at the bottom, you see a circular dome-shaped chamber, dimly lit. Pillars, chains, inscriptions and carvings all over the floors in various rune patterns. You see, imprisoned within a cube of light, with another figure standing outside of it. The same, just a red pool just kind of down there at the bottom of it. Not even bothering to take a shape. You see the figure of Miriam, hat not on, turn and nod at your approach.
Good to see you up and about.
You as well. As you all enter in and circle around the interior, the cage is visible now, appears to be made of light. There is no sign of activity or recognition at all coming from this strange red puddle going out, forming this perfect rippleless cube along the bottom of the floor.
Familius?
Just like a giant piece of jello.
Pretty much.
Someone hand me a spoon.
Ew.
I
There's
don't know
no-
about that one. It's got people in it.
There is no visible sign of change from the mention of the name. Go with... Add something.
I'm expecting Jetta to just go, listen here, you gelatinous fuck.
Oi, bitch tits.
That's better.
I just want to talk. I'm not here to antagonize you. I'm not here to get into a fight. You know me, as you claim to. You should know how difficult this is.
Still no response.
I'm going to use sorcery points to do the silent detect thoughts. Again, not probing, just seeing if there's preparing to brain blast myself again, but just like listening, not probing. See if there's any activity.
As you do,
Sorcery points.
you feel immediately as though you are being watched silently by thousands of eyes.
Is it like that sense of eyes from when I probed into the cleric's mind? Because
No,
whatever
not
took her
quite.
eyes was a collection of different eyes.
No. These eyes look with a very resolute, monotone sameness.
Ah. Hmm.
They're just looking, just aware that you are there, but not really giving much.
Yeah, Vask says out loud. So it's watching us. I just think it's bored.
Biding its time.
It's just waiting, observing.
Yes. Because why spare its God? That's why spare any words for us in its divinity.
This has largely been its state of affairs since it has come down here, Miriam says. It has little to say, little to offer. The only time it has spoken is when Reuben was down here alone, and that exchange was brief. Since then, it's as though it just has nothing to say.
Then what is the point of you? You'll do nothing. What is the point of you?
Still no response.
Jedi,
No
I don't
matter how
think
long
this-
until. Sorry, go
It
ahead.
is
Hildegard's got to like reach out and just lightly pat Matt on the children, just to say, Jedi, I don't think this thing's going to give anyone anything it wants, anything they want.
no. Least of all satisfaction.
I don't want satisfaction.
Just-
No, you're right. You're right.
This thing isn't worth our time. It's not even a whisper.
I think we'd be better off finding some kind of plagiarist, see what they were working on.
The god has withdrawn.
I just wanted to know how you got him. If you really did get him.
You feel something wriggling inside of your mind for a moment.
Oh, what?
Just the faintest little feeling, just a faint fingerprint traced across the surface of your brain. And a little whisper, just, what would you give to find out?
Ah.
Does Vask hear that with the detect thoughts up?
Yep.
heebie-jeebies.
Jenna,
But back, she thinks it at it. Nothing you could possibly do.
I'm afraid you will draw no closure from this thing.
It doesn't have to be like this. We could have gone about this entirely differently. You could have reached out instead of taken. Alright, I think that's all we're getting.
All of you just feel the faintest little mirthful chuckle. We do not take. We merely open.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure all the people were so happy when you killed them.
Would you like to find out?
You're not going to goad me into doing something stupid.
Last I and the rest of us were aware, listening is the most valuable skill there is. One could hardly call it stupid. The gel just kind of amasses into the middle, into the shape of a humanoid figure, just kind of hunched and crouched in a bizarre crisscross position. Almost yoga-like.
You could have.
Oh, it's just toying with you. It only manifested when you were about to leave.
It wants attention. Don't you?
We welcome any who seek us out. And that
Really,
is what you did.
It is, and then you didn't say a word until I was ready to go.
Well, you were so steadfast in your rejection last time. We know better than to pry until we truly know what we are speaking for. You seek
What?
closure, but that is not what we do. We open.
It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, but the things we could teach you.
Then why not try and teach without hurting somebody? Maybe after you do, they willingly join you.
Do you really think that's not what happened?
I don't know, because all we've seen is what you've done to all the people who make you up now. What you did to Nerd, locking him in a... You locked
There's
him
that
in a
red
room.
smile as you briefly mention that.
You locked him in the room and let him die. It does not seem kind. Are you just a living contradiction, or do you have something to add?
We have already said what we needed to. What are you willing to show me to find out? Are you willing to go the rest of your days not knowing what became of poor Nern? Whether or not they were willing or not. Maybe, just maybe, it stands, rising to its feet and walks up to the edge of the border. You don't like the thought that They thought we were a better solution than hiding in a gutter.
Oh. What about all the people he was helping? What was
You-
important to him?
Well, if we simply had the opportunity, we would offer them the same. We've seen the state of this world. It's a sad thing. So much cruelty, so much wounding, scouring. Why, I do believe such agents of cruelty might be closer than you think.
Hmm. What does that mean?
You might want to check the borders of your little domicile of safety. You might have company from the scouring agent itself. You might want to put on your best face for the project.
Oh, fuck.
Should you desire answers, or a way to be rid of them and their bizarre little thing that they worship. Sits back down. You know where to find us, at least until one of you decides that this is no longer worth it.
She looks
Did-
to Ruben.
Go ahead, Sarah, before I respond.
Did it just ask us to feed it Einar?
Potentially, there's room to interpret that in what it said.
Uh-oh.
We offer an opening. We have never lied about that.
But you're not very clear on the details. Now, are you?
We've been as clear as we are capable. If you do not understand it, then there is nothing we can do.
That's bullshit, and you know it. You're made up of so many people. You know so much. You know that there's other ways to communicate than just words or just the words that you're using.
Indeed. And if you cannot hear them, or perceive them in any such way, then come back when you can. Go see to those crazed zealots who come knocking at your door. And if you need someone to remove them, well, we have room for so much more. And it just dissolves back into a puddle.
Done here.
Nat just looks at it.
Is this? Oh, sorry.
Go. Go.
When with the tech bats up while I was speaking, did I hear Nern at all among that chorus?
There was only one voice speaking that entire
Okay.
time.
Mm. Do you not regret any of the pain you've caused?
Garm is going to put a firm hand on your shoulder.
You cannot seek guilt in something that is mad.
Lauren is a part of you. Does he not regret what this? And she just motions. She motions to where her arm was. But this happened. If he is a part of you, is that not anything?
We have already said it twice. We will not provide that information for nothing. If you have nothing new to say, then leave. You bore me.
Fine. Turns
Jay.
and walks out. Doesn't wait for anybody, just turns and leaves.
All right. And the rest of you?
Yep.
Yep.
Hildegard lingers just half a second behind the others. She glances over her shoulder and mouths something at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will DM you that in a minute before she turns and leaves.
I look forward to it.
Oops.
Vesk very nearly did stop and ask get something, but he's not yet.
I got nothing to say to this hoe. I know a copper-clad bitch when I see it.
All right. There is no response to that.
She wasn't expecting one or looking for one. Just letting it know that.
All right. So, as you venture into the stairway, the doorway into that chamber closes behind. Miriam stays to watch over it as well. Reuben is moving up the stairs as quickly as his old bones can allow.
I don't blame him.
Nat is not saying anything, she's just going.
His waxy bones.
Yeah, it's Candlewick.
This is taking too long. He just clamps his staff down on the ground and vanishes.
The
That's a
stairs.
wizard. That's a wizard.
I didn't become a master of magic to climb stairs. God damn it.
I
And
don't
none of
need
the Constitution
exercise.
score for this.
Maybe you would have the Constitution score if you walked.
I did not spend 30 years in college, in mage college, just for stairs. Fuck this.
The stairs are there to keep other wizards from going down.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh,
Claptrap in Borderlands, natural enemy of all intellectuals.
I'm just imagining now, like the greatest wizard deterrent, an anti-magic field and stairs.
No.
You just come around the corner and hiss at it like startled cats, like.
No.
Just like climbing the 47 flights of stairs in Shinra Inc.
Oh, that's funny.
Except that's one flight of stairs that does that to you're basically buried after one flight.
Yep.
It's funnier in the remake.
It is funny in the remake. You drag it out so long. Anyway, you guys proceed up as quickly as you and silently as you are allowed and wish.
Nat doesn't say anything, but she's walking
Briskly.
intentionally ahead of people.
All right. So as you reach the top, Nat, since you're clearly in the lead here, you nearly walk over the small, diminutive owlin form of Dimly, who is waiting up at the top. Just
Oh, fuck.
you just briefly see feathers flutter as he goes back a little bit. Apologies. Didn't expect you to come up so vigorously. Normally, I'm quite good at these things. Suppose we're all a little on edge.
I wonder why.
Indeed. And I would say that, Vara, you would definitely be with Dimly at this point.
She peeks around and goes, "Hi."
Hello.
Hello again.
Her eyes are like, underneath her eyes are like black. It's very
Jesus.
clear that she hasn't slept in at least 3 days.
All right, I'll take some points of exhaustion into account if we go into anything. That's at least 3 points of exhaustion.
Oof.
Yeah, you're just seeing the world ending right now. You're seeing the heat death of the universe.
I see that every day. And that changes by lunchtime.
So it's like frustrating, isn't it?
What is what's frustrating? You gonna hit
Gestures
the
at the
fucking-
stairway behind you as it's closing.
Oh, that I guess.
Yeah.
It's theirs, whatever.
Any callousness or anger you have pinned up within you, I would recommend you shelve it in a tight hideaway inside of your minds while you can.
Why?
You just all hear in your heads, there are 2 judges at the door.
Oh,
What?
fuck! Nat turns and heads towards the door.
Oh,
Right.
Hildegard
shit.
We're
quickly.
just doing this, okay?
Hildegard will quickly pull her hood up and over her head.
The ravens are on your shoulders and they do bristle a little bit at that mention.
Yeah.
Vask sighs, looks that he's still glowing, sighs again.
They come
Merchant.
wearing no retinue. We honestly did not even realize they were here until they were at the door. We're not even entirely sure how they got here. The passes are still frozen over.
The judges, they carry fucking light and fire magic. They melted it or they teleported.
Entirely
Just-
possible.
Someone just on fire walking through a snowbank as it just melts around them. Like, get out of the way.
I got time for this shit.
Hire that person in a city and just have them go jogging around the city after a snowstorm to clear the roads.
All right, so you reach the main gates. They are open. You see Reuben standing there clutching at his staff. Body language, there is tension, but not as much as you'd expect. And this is the figure that he is speaking to.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't like
Oh, you're a fun-looking guy. Bet you're great
Hey.
at parties.
You see a tall figure, statuesque in proportions, clad in gleaming gold, silver-trimmed armor, a winged helm, and a large sword and shield that appears to be covered in runes and some kind of glowing mirror. And behind them, let's get the
boy.
other one out.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Jump over to this model. There we go. This will only be a moment. I should change the music as well. Cave dripping no longer fits this
Whoa.
situation.
Let's go. Joy.
Let's see, which one was this?
So, stupid question.
Mhm.
Would the the trip up the stairs be long enough for Vask to have ritually cast telepathic bond?
Sure.
Oh.
I'd allow
Oh.
retroactive casting of that. You see, both of them are
I'd say it was like an
easily
hour
over.
up and down.
Yeah, both of them are easily over 6 feet. The woman in the back in blackmail is actually taller. She probably looks a good 6'4", 6'5". This guy's maybe 6'3" with the helmet.
Excuse me. Not
And-
going to see them and untense.
Yeah, they do not resemble the figure of your past.
Yeah. And she'll walk closer.
The dark armored
Which of the
woman.
judges was it?
Go ahead.
Was it these two? Was one of these two judges that Vask knew that the cleric was in contact with?
You don't know which one they were in contact with. Just that it was one of them.
Yeah, you should probably not go closer mask, I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I'm just gonna be standing in the back of my own light source, like someone fucked with me in
That's true.
Gmod.
It is broad daylight, at least.
I mean, yeah.
Look, if they hassle you, just jump close to them. Their shiny armor will reflect it everywhere.
Blinding us.
And
Alright.
then,
You see, upon closer inspection, both of them, their eyes glow like flames. There's no visible pupil or iris, just one solid. It's like classical tieflings in many ways.
Okay. You guys will notice that as she's walking forward, her hand does go up to and start itching her stump.
The one in golden armor looks over.
Hello.
Hail, heroes of this realm.
Nap.
A simple name will not do for such an event. Do you understand the gravity of your situation?
I'm afraid I don't.
It is understandable. A lot of you have not
At
been
least
expecting
we're not
us.
certain on the Reich's perspective on the importance of this.
We came as quickly as we could. When the red moon came early, we learned from one of our own of the epicenter being here. We were dispatched with the utmost haste to see what we might ascertain and aid in this situation. And truly, looks around just at the ruin beyond the walls that they just walked through. You all befell a terrible fate. Shame we could not get here faster. But we are mortal after all, and only that.
There are numbers of help them.
Insight check.
It's a good idea.
Sure.
are you mortal?
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. I have a 0 wisdom. Figures.
This
So
guy
it's
is
more like
raising the...
Vask in the background doing the L.A. Noir doubt face.
In the group chat, Garm is going to answer the question.
They're not anymore.
I would like to insight them, but not for that. I want to
Mhm.
insight their demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they hostile? Do they seem legitimate? Like,
Go ahead
I want to get a read on them.
Okay. 15. Okay, I will roll. Okay. Okay. The one in golden armor is projecting himself like an open book. Does not appear to be hiding any deceptions, is speaking very plainly and very openly. The dark-clad figure behind is reading you just as intently as you are reading them.
You do? Yeah, fair.
Maybe even more so. I am Vaughn, and this is my counterpart, Rosline. Humble servants of the Reich. Tell me, have you wounded among you?
I think that depends on what you mean by wounded. Maimed might be the more proper term.
Just regards you for a moment.
Fuck it, she's not shy about it. She pulls back the cloak just to show.
Takes a single step closer to you.
How close is he to me? With
Well,
that,
depends on how close you got.
yeah, she's like a bit. She was like behind Ruben, like behind to the side of Ruben, like flanking him.
Mhm. Okay, well, he is with less than 5 feet away from you at this exact moment. Hmm,
She lets him look.
tragic. You lost this to the scourge that attacked the men and the children here.
To the casualties of the Red Moon. Yes.
Just takes a deep breath, eyes closed for a moment. I'm sorry, deeply. I'm afraid that is beyond my power for now.
I'm gonna fucking insane that.
As you wish.
Fucking, I'm sorry. Oh yeah.
Fine.
Never mind.
You do not know what to make of it. You're not sure if he's being... There's a lot of biases at work right now.
Yeah. She's doing her best to keep herself under control. She's got a whole
You can't-
lot of.
You can't tell if this guy just legitimately prayed for a miracle or
Oh my
just
god.
pretended to just so they could rub it in your face. You have no idea.
Good lord.
Hmm. We are here to aid you. You need fear not, Headmaster. But if you do not mind, there are those that we must see to of our own. Where are you keeping them? Reuben sighs. We kept the bodies in one of the cellars. At least out of the cold. I will warn you, it's not pretty. Your god gives them the ability to heal themselves to an extent, but one can only endure fangs and claws so many times.
This is what happened if I survived.
You see the dark armored one just shoot a very quick glance over at you with that.
I mean, what she's getting at is like, God, look what happened to me, and I made it out alive. They're gonna look much worse.
God, I have to resist the urge to
She overcome match the glance.
resist the urge to just kick you in the shin.
Stop opening your mouth.
Look at
God damn it.
We are telekinetically bonded right now, so you can totally just over the chat go, Nat!
In her head, be honest. I survived and I got maimed. They're not going to look any prettier than me. What?
It doesn't come off well.
But yeah, she, out loud, Rosalind was it? Because she looks at her, so Nat looks at her.
Just tilts the head slightly at you. You can see from behind, much akin to Esther, the ends of her hair glow, but hers are like forge fire. Esther's was kind of a soft blue light. Hers, she has very long, braided, straight hair, and it is like flame behind her head.
Ooh, boy. I don't know.
Eyes narrow for a moment, and then just proceeds to walk. And you realize that Reuben is leading them.
Oh.
And you all hear in your head, please come. I don't think I could fight them both at once if they try anything.
Yeah.
Jesus. Nat will follow. And she will look. She's still looking at is it Rosalind or Rosalind?
He pronounced it Roseline, but...
Roseline, okay. Roseline.
It's either A or B.
So, Garb said that over the group chat,
Mhm.
the mind chat.
That he could sense that there were not entirely what they said they were.
They're celestial blooded now.
If they were human once, they are no longer.
Yeah.
And I guess retroactively, Vasquez said, I think they offered their eyes do whatever their god is, just like the cleric had, but they see through fire now.
To get Roseline again, because I assume we're walking and like Vaughn is walking side by side with Ruben.
Yep.
So yeah, she's also a bit behind, closer to Roseline.
Mhm.
Roseline. I did not talk to the Reichman here very much. I thought there was one in particular who I shared some meaningful words with. If you
No.
know,
There's no glance back to you, just walking eyes ahead.
if you know, what was the Reichman captain's name? I wrote down
Erdogan.
his sister's. What is it?
Erdogan.
Erdogan. If you know an Erdogan, he left behind a sister. He was
Vaughn
not-
speaks up from ahead. Were they from the valley?
I believe so.
We will inform all survivors and all those who remain.
Like, I'm inciting her fucking ignoring me.
Feel free.
God, God damn it.
15. Not sure what to read off of her. You definitely got the vibe that she's acknowledged you before.
Yeah.
But, oh boy, this woman is like a statue.
Yeah.
Get the feeling you're talking to God Spec Ops right now.
This
Yeah,
is
I was
God's
actually gonna
spot,
ask-
yes.
God
I was
Spec.
actually gonna ask how Vara's reacting, because it suddenly remembered what she said her family does.
Well, if I may,
You may
two are
speak.
judges, yes.
That is the honor we have been granted, yes.
What do you do for the Reich? There's hearsay, but hearsay is never kind.
It's rare to see a furbolg so curious.
Just over the chat. Oh my god, Nat. Seriously.
You are clearly clanless. If you desire Ionar's answers and light, there is only one place worthy of teaching you. Come to Mount Morgan. We welcome all.
In the mental like you hear, I'll fucking burn that place to the ground. But out loud! I appreciate the offer. Have you ever had any furbolg among your ranks?
None that I have known myself, but I only see to certain portions of Reich activities.
Understandable.
I will speak to Ivor on the matter, at least. He seems to know more of that sort of manner.
Garm would like to say something to you over the mental connection,
Yeah.
Jeddah.
Okay.
Beware drawing too close to the flame, Moth.
What is that? Speak plainly to me, Garm. I've had enough riddles.
The more you speak, the more you reveal to them, and they have remained silent.
Oh, God. I'm not gonna get many chances to speak to a judge. I might as well take it.
Should you? There is more than yourself at stake here.
If she keeps this up, I'm going to mind blast her.
Oh my god!
I will turn this car around.
And I will mind punch you.
He says you get there's a heavy emotion of just like amused panic. So he's not being serious. It's just like, please, Jeddah, please.
We're making this so much worse.
I am being extremely civil. I
You're
am
being
being
I know,
civil.
but
You're being civil to people who burn down towns for disagreeing with them. Remember that, you hear.
I am very aware of what they do.
So let's not add one more town to that list from good-natured prying, please. At least until I know what they're doing. This is just us. This is just us. I know Vask is speaking as well. This is just between you and me. Please. I don't want to lose my home as you've lost yours.
Very, very well. And yeah, she'll shut up.
Yep. Oh, you approach down to the... that is funny. So, you guys reach down to the cellar, and, you can smell pretty quickly that there are bodies in here. Reuben just kind of speaks up. We, lack anyone of clerical skill here in this valley now. The last one was a Gortog cleric that died some 4 years ago. So we've done the best we can.
glance over at Garm.
I thank you for your aid. And I thank you for trusting them in their final hours to help against the beasts that befell you at your door. Just puts a plate-mailed hand on Reuben's shoulder for a moment. And you can feel with your one-way connection with them, he is just breathing in mentally, endlessly the entire time, like he is just waiting to combust.
Oh, she'll over the link say, "Breathe, don't show what you're feeling. If they already knew, then they're not doing anything about it."
You're right. And
If they could suss us out that easily, we'd have all been gone by now.
watch the doors, Rosaline. I wish to see for myself. You're not ready for this yet.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna send a command for Loud to keep an eye on Rosaline as she moves.
Mm-hmm. She's back at the doorway, just standing still like a statue.
Yeah, well, she's getting eyeballed by a bird now.
Mm-hmm. No eye contact to match it. Just staring straight ahead.
That whole "you're not ready," that's weird. Yeah, she said mentally. You're not ready. That's a strange turn of phrase for a judge.
She could
Maybe
be new.
she's the newest. Yeah. Would we have would that be like a history check to try and remember?
I'd say that would be an unknown at this point. The judges are extremely secretive about their true identities and the like. Like, you'll hear their names, but nobody knows anything about them. Pretty much any time they're in public, they're in that full face-visored armor.
Has Hildegard ever heard of a Rosaline?
That's a
Or
new one.
Rosaline? Alright.
Or Vara, since she's.
I would allow Vara a history check here, but that's up to you.
She'll make one. She's like I said, she's got her hat pulled down over her face so nobody can see what she looks like, and she is paying more attention than you've ever seen her make.
Oh god.
Damn.
I bet she's like, now's the day where I sober up. I'm not clear-headed.
Yeah. So, you are aware that there have been only 4 judges for some time. Your family has right connections. You are aware of their leader, Judge Ivor, who is kind of seen as the perfect golden boy. You know Gabral, the quiet, angry one, who usually gets sent to purge the heretic and so on. You know of Vaughn, this one. He is kind of the negotiator. It's believed he's the youngest one of the group. Not too much is known about him, but they know that he is probably one of the most martially skilled, but also the most silver-tongued. And the last one, the most mysterious one that you are aware of, is Judge Nazir, who wears strange white armor, wields a massive axe, and, well, doesn't speak very much. Rosaline, you know, is the newest one that joined in very mysteriously just a few years ago. No one knows much of anything about her.
Did Vara get in the mental connection? Because she was upstairs while Vask was casting it.
I'd say you wouldn't have included her in that then.
So all you see if you're paying attention is her.
I actually did. I was actually thinking about that. Vask might have looked over at her and used his own personal. This is complicated, but similar to how Ruben and are talking, could have initiated that with Brian. It's like, you okay? You look.
Well, you
tense.
don't know. You don't know Nat and.
Well, no, I mean like that. It's this similar ability.
We're all playing telephone and we don't know it.
Got it.
So all the rest of you see her just kind of getting tenser and smaller and kind of hunching.
Aww.
And when Vass says that in her head, she just kind of like, she puts her head down more and she goes, "There have been 4 judges for a very long time. She's very new. Only a couple of years. Nobody knows where she came from. Nobody knows what she can do either. It's the
Vass
most
will
serious
pass
you have
on.
ever heard her."
Vask will pass that along the chain to the.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying group chat, but the
We can
link.
call it that.
Yeah.
You can call it the group chat. All right. So, yeah, that information is passed along, and as you are aware of that, Vaughn reaches up, sheathes his sword, puts his shield down and on his back, reaches and takes off his helmet.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
I
wow,
called it.
terrifying.
She's also feeding Vask what she knows about the judges.
Oh, that's seeing a judge's face is really like significant, right?
It's not something typically shown, no.
Oh fuck.
And you can
Hildegard.
see as, okay, go ahead.
I just think she just does a double take and just eyes wide, just like, holy fuck.
And you can see as he's just kind of walking among all of the bodies, just dozens of them. You could see that they collected the ones from the Hag incident as well that they could find. And you could see there are tears streaming down his face. Not profusely, but they are also the same color as his eyes.
AKA molten gold.
Kind of like that, almost.
Mm.
I'm like, Nat believes those tears are genuine. Yeah, he's crying.
Breathes for a moment, just kind of standing in the midst of them. And begins speaking in a language that I don't think any of y'all have Celestial.
No.
Pretty sure.
Nope, definitely
Nope.
not.
Nope.
Didn't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty sure I didn't, but just double check. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, we did
I
languages.
know languages on like the opposite end of the spectrum of where Celestial lies.
Somewhat. Just strange things. It sounds almost more like a prayer. And beneath his feet, there is suddenly a ring of light.
It sounds like he's speaking a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then he begins speaking again in a tongue all can understand. Ionar blesses you for your bravery, for your willingness to stand against the shadows. Ionar sees you, unflinching and unblinking in the dark, when no one else can. He sees the wolves baying at your heels, yearning to tear you. He sees you, and he rewards you. Rise.
Whoa.
And you see no visible signs, but an awful lot of bodies suddenly start moving. Not all of them, but quite a few begin to rise up to their feet, breathing very raggedly as though their lungs were squeezed shut.
Holy shit.
Did this fucker just do a mass resurrection?
Resurrection.
Yeah.
They start rising. Many of them are joyous. They begin running forward, just planting their hands as close as they can to the judge, just speaking about how unworthy they are, of how blessed they are in this, and how they'll never forget it, how changed they are, how they knew they would come for them, that Ionar would not forget them in the darkness.
Uh,
There are warm smiles coming from the judge, but then he turns, and you can see standing just slightly off to the side of the throng, you can see the blind cleric woman who was at their head before.
Oh no, is she alive?
Yep.
Fuck.
Just watch a mask slip out the back door.
Just steps forward towards her. You realize once again that this guy, she was like maybe 5'4" or so. So this guy's got a good foot on her. She is, inside of her wrapped eyes, she is not meeting his gaze. There's just a moment of silence between the two. Ionar has forgiven you, Devra. But know this. You could see those with dark vision at the very least, because it is dim lighting in here.
yeah.
She is very clearly shaking.
Ooh. I want to insight her.
Feel free.
I knew I had to roll good eventually.
All right. One, this is very much the energy of somebody, of a kid who's normally very good and doesn't try to do any wrong, and just got in trouble with a parent that is known to spank.
Oh.
Bond's face is stern. The smile is gone. You fell once, and you lost much for it. Ionar granted you new sight and new purpose. And in your zeal, you forgot that purpose. You did not see the shadows that puppeted you and led these men to their deaths. She does nothing, just shaking. You can hear faint sobbing bits underneath in the breath. But you were willing to give your life to atone for it. And for that, Ionar has made you well. But know this. There are no third chances. Your next transgression will be your last. Turns over to the others. Gather yourselves, men. This valley has no more need of us. We make for our next goals. I thank you again, Headmaster. As he walks forward, putting the helmet back on. Reuben is very clearly visibly trying to hide that he's distressed by the absolute miracle he just witnessed.
Yeah.
Fair.
Nat is visibly in awe.
Mm-hmm.
Just stunned.
Yeah.
We have no need to be enemies in any capacity, Headmaster. Hollow Hall is an esteemed and sacred place to the history of our people. It would be a shame for it to choose the wrong side of history. Indeed. Reuben just barely manages to grunt out. Come, we make for the pass. I thank all of you for your actions and the kindness you chose to show.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Was Erdogan one of those to rise?
No.
Mm.
He was pulped pretty badly.
Is
Did you get the body back? At least most of it. I think.
yeah, he wasn't super pulped. He was smashed, but like these guys got savaged by werewolves.
Yeah. It's-
Through the mental link, Garm. Well, everyone will hear Vasco. Garm, do these smell undead?
That's a good point. I'll expend another use of Divine Sense then.
No. They are fully revived.
Oh my god.
If they were, the lady would have smelled of it already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite simply, it's like
They live.
As they're gone, Go ahead.
I think we should thank you for your kindness. One
Mhm.
must extend it when possible.
They all go up the steps, all of them. You can hear there's not much decorum among the revived soldiers. Many of them are just, well, reacting about how you'd expect people who were just brought back from the dead to react.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Staggering, crying. There's one guy just going, "Yeah, let's go again," for no reason.
Yeah, there's a Leroy Jenkins in there.
I love Jesus.
Yeah, fuck yeah, die again for him.
The last one to leave is Rosaline, who just watches until they're all gone, just looks out at the bodies remaining. Then looks over at Reuben and just goes, "Burn them, as is Ionar's will," and turns and starts going up the stairs herself.
As soon as she disappears out of sight, Garmer will finally release some tension.
Will we follow them?
Very much
No.
like to see. I'd like to see them leave personally.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes.
It's my duty to everyone here. Though I fully understand if you all wish to.
I'm going.
Of course. Thank you.
United
you all.
front.
Yeah, I guess we gotta go then.
Okay. Thank you. I admittedly a little more nervous than I thought I'd be. I didn't expect two of them.
I think that's the point.
This is a
No
show
one
of
expects
respect.
the Ion requisition.
I mean, Vasco's. I mean, they did a. Two, it seems that honestly like an reaction to a potential new god showing up?
They don't know all the details.
Yeah, most curiously, they haven't mentioned anything.
I don't think Ruben fucking told anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So as you all ascend up back into the courtyard, the student body has all retreated indoors very clearly and quite recently at the sight of dead bodies, healed, tattered armor, walking up, getting up and walking out again. They saw those people die.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any rhyme or reason to the ones who came back? Physically, anyway?
Not that you can tell. It seemed pretty random.
Does Jetta muse about that over the link?
Yeah.
Vasco's. My guess is these were the ones that were zealous enough to be pulled back. The captain seemed. I think it was the captain, right? The guy?
That is correct.
The captain seemed like a decent person, not fully. Maybe it only brings back those who would be the true believers now that they've experienced the miracle of rebirth.
So, as you all head up, you all suddenly hear in your own minds, well, specifically Vask.
And I hand the telephone.
Yep. We will not forget what you did. Vask. You hear coming from Judge Rosline as she's looking right at you as you head up from about 30 feet away.
So, out of character, that gave me chills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Vask will look, turn back and lock eyes and just. My memory is long as well.
Yeah, that. Don't be confrontational, Jenna.
Yeah, we can't hear this one.
That was a
Yeah.
one-on-one.
Vask might be having a reaction to the resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
He also would be getting his shin kicked.
All right, so as they all approach towards the gate, see the judge Rosline approaching the rear as quickly as she can, moving at a pretty brisk march. Judge Vaughn suddenly stops, looks over and up a little bit.
I will follow his gaze.
Yep. Hail, Master of the Mountain. We did not expect your arrival.
What?
Feeling.
And, like a chameleon almost. You realize that perching up on top of the walls, probably a good 60, 70 feet long, there is a large blue dragon that was hidden from view.
Oh, fun.
What? Okay.
Oh, blue? I
Do
thought it
I
was
know
silver.
how you're supposed to meet a dragon with respect?
From what you know, dragons, they see themselves as the apex of all life.
Yeah.
They kind of expect to be treated like it, but not don't make a big deal out of it. You're just supposed to kind of just accept that it's reality and move on. Don't make a show of it.
Okay. In her head, she'll say, "Don't kneel or make a big show or anything. Just show them the respect they deserve."
Massive reptile's eyes just narrow and look down at the little horde.
I want to see the little horse for a second.
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah.
So,
You
looks like
golden little horse.
Yep. You should have told us, Headmaster, that we were having such prime company. See, I would have dressed a little more for the occasion. Reuben just kind of tenses up. You could see him kind of biting the inside of his own cheek a little bit.
in their length, do you know she was coming?
That's not her. That's her
Oh.
mate.
Oh.
If it
Oh.
was, trust me, if it was her, this college couldn't contain her.
Oh my god.
Size kink.
Okay, so another check in the mark that dragons are termites.
Actually,
Yeah.
kinda, yeah. That's what I went with.
Yeah.
The blue dragon just sneers and goes, "Leave. You are not welcome in this valley. You were not given our blessing to come here. You are only breathing because she wills it." Judge Vaughn just bows his head, kind of nonchalantly to the threat. Far be it from me to disrespect another's customs.
Fucking smartass.
He is the diplomat.
Come, let us depart this valley with haste, then. You will find the passes open if you also choose it. We took care of the snow.
I knew it.
They all leave, and you just watch like a cat watching mice walk and skittering away. The dragon just keeps its eyes locked on them, moving as fast as not especially quickly, but watches them until they are out of view.
Could I incite Roseline one more time?
Well, okay, sure.
And I'm going to use a moxie point to do it with advantage.
Okay.
Oh my
14.
god!
Well, what do you want to find out?
I just want to know. I mean, honestly, she's just trying to get some kind of fucking beat on her. She's been so fucking quiet. It seems about as intense as Nat herself. Like,
You got nothing new. That you're not sure exactly what made that woman tick.
yeah.
Actually, could ask. I guess that this would be a retroactive one. Could Vesk have incited when she initiated the psychic link? I just
They're
realized
gone,
that she's the
sure,
one
yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, she's the one who started that. So just kind of, I don't have any kind of bonus in insight, but it's like I want to get a vibe on what her magic might be.
God, I have fucking advantage.
14.
I got a 14. Oh my god!
Sometimes
You
the
get
dice are
the
dice.
you get the exact vibe that she probably had detect thoughts going on you.
Ah,
On
I
that
called
or
it.
on all of us?
Just on him.
Okay.
I called it.
Yeah, but you were still
What did it
relaying
be?
a lot of shit.
But that's only surface thoughts. You only get surface thoughts.
You did not pry deeper. You would have known. So, as the
Try
Reichman
to
leave,
change my plans to make a ring of mind shielding.
as they leave and are gone thoroughly, you can see students beginning to pour out. Quite a few of them, in fact, seeing the second in command of the Dragon Mountain there. Pretty rare sight.
Yeah.
It slowly turns its head, almost serpent-like, to look back at everyone inside. And like a big panther, just sinuously slinks down, the ground barely making any sound at their presence, into the courtyard, tail dragging along behind it as it walks towards the center.
Wait, things. Do I know their name?
You've heard it mentioned. It's looking at Reuben at this exact moment.
Oh, okay.
Reuben has mentioned the name before. Let me see, where are you? Ah, he's under NPCs, yep. He is known as Rangilar.
Rangolar.
Rangular.
Just nods his head a little bit. Reuben, you could have told me you were here. I would have been a lot more confident about everything. Just it sighs and looks back in their direction. These Reichman worry us. We know not what they can do. It's the first time they've been to this valley.
Well, those ones just resurrected a bunch of dead Reichman, so...
We could smell them. And now we cannot.
What?
Many fell.
Oh, I get it.
Tell me, Tell me, vocal one.
Fuck.
Tell me,
Yeah,
everyone.
Plays yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Just does a little throaty alligator-like rumble as it turns its head to look directly at you with both eyes.
She doesn't shrink away, but she holds firm.
You are the one who avenged my son.
Oh. Oh, from the... Yes. I ripped out its core.
All of you,
I'm
then.
sorry for your loss.
He died in pursuit of his own perfection. There's no greater end one of our own might hope for. But I thank you for avenging them against the cravens who sought to absorb him. Reuben.
Matt, give him a nod.
Reuben. I will be taking them from here.
Fuck!
The mother wishes to speak with them.
Oh.
And we're going to call it a night there.
Hey.
Oh, damn.
But my mom hasn't signed my permission slip.
Dragon, I am your
The
mom
urge-
now.
The urge to start shit that was so strong.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would shoot you.
She kept herself centered by thinking about the good Reichman, honestly.
Oh, sweet, I have silence. I can just throw silence on you.
I will punch you!
She will eat that over Judge trying to purge you out of existence.
Somebody an ally hits her, she will punch them!
Furbolg's attacking that woman!
That is what
So-
would happen.
You know how Redemption Paladins have that rebuke ability to like deal the damage back that someone deals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Due to inter-party things, the paladin backstab critted my paladin, doing a lot of damage and almost taking him out, but he was a point tank by that point. And I was pissed off, so I was like, you know what, rebuke. And it was enough damage that it would have permanently killed her. Because it would have been like her HP twice over. And the DM's like, okay, so while I'm totally down with that, this would be hilarious, you can't do it against something that attacks you. You have to do it against something that attacks an ally. I'm like,
Oh,
you're right.
It's like, shit, you're
Because
right.
I totally would have like rebuked her and then used like one or two diamonds to do revivify to be like, that's why you don't fucking like shoot me in the back, you little shit.